snow mountains. Geothermal energy reserves are gifts from nature. They are warm and bright. In China, from farming civilization to modern society, geothermal enjoyed a time-honored history. When geothermal resources enter thousands of households, when pursuing green living becomes the mainstream, human development will be more closely related to nature, and our lives will embrace more lasting vitality. When new technologies are flourishing, the light of energy revolution will shine on every corner of the earth. Every installation will be busy creating a rich and colorful life. Every endeavor will be made to realize our green dream. The more heat we have, the more green life we would enjoy. We never stop. The resource of nature and the power of science and technology will lead to the utilization of the cleanest energy resources and the creation of a better life. This is our homeland. We can find here the sound of nature, the beauty of life, and the magic of energy. The blue planet, with its infinite energy resources, gives us driving force for development and inspires us to move bravely forward. They are hidden in magnificence of peaks and lakes, and are winding in the depths of wilderness and snow mountains. Geothermal energy reserves are gifts from nature. They are warm and bright. In China, from farming civilization to modern society, geothermal enjoyed a time-honored history. Will be made to realize our green dream. The more heat we have, the more green life we would enjoy. We never stop. The resource of nature and the power of science and technology will lead to the utilization of the cleanest energy resources and the creation of a better life. This is our homeland. We can find here the sound of nature, the beauty of life, and the magic of energy. The blue planet, with its infinite energy resources, gives us driving force for development and inspires us to move bravely forward. They are hidden in magnificence of peaks and lakes and are winding in the depths of wilderness and snow mountain. When geothermal resources enter thousands of households, when pursuing green living becomes the mainstream, human development will be more closely related to nature, and our lives will embrace more lasting vitality. When new technologies are flourishing, the light of energy revolution will shine on every corner of the earth. Every installation will be busy creating a rich and colorful life. Every endeavor will be made to realize our green dream. The more heat we have, the more green life we would enjoy. We never stop. The resource of nature and the power of science and technology will lead to the utilization of the cleanest energy resources and the creation of a better life. This is our homeland. We can find here the sound of nature, the beauty of life, and the magic of energy. The blue planet, with its infinite energy resources, gives us driving force for development and inspires us to move bravely forward. They are hidden in magnificence of peaks and lakes and are winding in the depths of wilderness and snow mountains. Geothermal energy reserves are gifts from nature. They are warm and bright. In China, from farming civilization to modern society, geothermal enjoyed a time-honored history. When geothermal resources enter thousands of households, when pursuing green living becomes the mainstream, human development will be more closely related to nature, and our lives will embrace more lasting vitality. When new technologies are flourishing, the light of energy revolution will shine on every corner of the earth. Every installation will be busy creating a rich and colorful life. every endeavor will be made to realize our green dream. The more heat we have, the more green life we would enjoy. We never stop. The resource of nature and the power of science and technology will lead to the utilization of the cleanest and the creation of a better life. This is our homeland. We can find here the sound of nature, the beauty of life, and the magic of energy. The blue planet, with its infinite energy resources, gives us driving force for development and inspires us to move bravely forward. They are hidden in magnificence of peaks and lakes, and are winding in the depths of wilderness and snow mountains. Geothermal energy reserves are gifts from nature. They are warm and bright. In China, from farming civilization to modern society, geothermal enjoyed a time-honored history. When geothermal resources enter thousands of households, when pursuing green living becomes the mainstream, human development will be more closely related to nature, and our lives will embrace more lasting vitality. When new technologies are flourishing, the light of energy revolution will shine on every corner of the earth. Installation will be busy creating a full life. Every and make the more heat we have, the more green life we would enjoy. We never stop. The resource of nature and the power of science and technology will lead to the utilization of the cleanest energy resources and the creation of a better life.
尊敬的各位来宾，本次会议将于5分钟之后开始，请您尽快就座，并将手机等通讯设备关闭或置于静音状态。谢谢您的合作。
Ladies and gentlemen, the event will begin shortly in 5 minutes. Can we please ask for you to kindly take your seats? We would also like to remind you to switch off all mobile phones and put electronic devices to silent mode. Thank you for your cooperation.
尊敬的各位来宾，本次会议将于5分钟之后开始，请您尽快就座，并将手机等通讯设备关闭或置于静音状态。谢谢您的合作。
Ladies and gentlemen, the event will begin shortly in 5 minutes. Can we please ask for you to kindly take your seats? We would also like to remind you to switch off all mobile phones and put electronic devices to silent mode. Thank you for your cooperation.
This is our homeland. We can find here the sound of nature, the beauty of life, and the magic of energy. The Blue Planet, with its infinite energy resources, gives us driving force for development and inspires us to move bravely forward. They are hidden in magnificence of peaks and lakes, and are winding in the depths of wilderness and snow mountains. Geothermal energy reserves are gifts from nature. They are warm and bright. In China, from farming civilization to modern society, geothermal enjoyed a time-honored history. When geothermal resources enter thousands of households, when pursuing green living becomes the mainstream, human development will be more closely related to nature, and our lives will embrace more lasting vitality. When new technologies are flourishing, the light of energy revolution will shine on every corner of the earth. Every installation will be busy creating a rich and colorful life. Every endeavor will be made to realize our green dream. The more heat we have, the more green life we would enjoy. We never stop. The resource of nature and the power of science and technology will lead to the utilization of the cleanest energy resources and the creation of a better life.
尊敬的各位来宾，本次会议即将开始，请您尽快就座，并将手机等通讯设备关闭或置于静音状态。谢谢您的合作。
Ladies and gentlemen, the event will begin shortly. Can we please ask for you to kindly take your seats? We would like to remind you again to switch off all mobile phones and put electronic devices to silent mode. Thank you for your cooperation.
尊敬的各位来宾，本次会议即将开始，请您尽快就座，并将手机等通讯设备关闭或置于静音状态。谢谢您的合作。
Ladies and gentlemen, the event will begin shortly. Can we please ask for you to kindly take your seats? We would like to remind you again to switch off all mobile phones and put electronic devices to silent mode. Thank you for your cooperation.
欢迎贵宾入场。
Welcome our VIP guests.
各位来宾、女士们、先生们，请欣赏开场影片。
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please watch the opening video.
有请主持人，中国实。
Distinguished Vice Premier Guo Qing, Distinguished Your Excellency Grimson, distinguished leaders, dear ministers, ambassadors, heads of international organizations, academicians, experts, representatives of enterprises, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Now, I would like to announce the official opening of the World Geothermal Congress 2023. First of all, please allow me to introduce the guests. We have His Excellency Zhang Guoqing, Vice Premier of the State Council. His Excellency Mr. Olafur Grimson, Chairman of Arctic Circle and former President of Iceland. Mr. Sylvain Broggo, President of IGA. Mr. Wang Zhiqing, Deputy Secretary General of the State Council of China. Mr. Li Wei, Vice Chairman of the China Economic and Social Council, Director of the Committee on Population Resources and Environment of the 13th CPC National Committee. Mr. Jiang Daming, former Minister of Land and Resources, Chief State Land Inspector, Member of the Standing Committee of the 13th CPPCC National Committee. Mr. Gou Ping, Vice Chairman of SESAC of the State Council. Mr. Zhang Jianhua, Administrator of the National Energy Administration of China. Mr. Li Jinfa, President of China Geological Survey. Ms. Hella Lagadottir, Director General of Iceland's National Energy Authority. President of China Science Museum. Mr. Gong Jianming, Member of the 14th CPPCC Standing Committee and Deputy Director of the Committee on Population. Mr. Tuck, the State Minister of Mines, attending will include ambassadors of relevant countries to China, the International Renewable Energy Agency, Chinese central and local government officials, members of Chinese Academy of Sciences and Chinese Academy of Engineering, representatives of domestic and foreign research institutions, universities, associations, enterprises, and news media, and other guests from 54 countries and over 1,400 people here. Let's give a warm applause to express our warm welcome to all the guests. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, today's world has entered a new period of turbulence and change, with more serious global energy security and growing challenge of climate change. The world energy transition has entered a period of comprehensive acceleration, and the development and application of renewable energy is more urgent. Against this background, it is of special significance for us to organize the 2023 World Geothermal Congress here, with the theme of Clean Geothermal Green Earth will build a broad cooperation and communication platform for government leaders, industry leaders, renowned scholars, technical experts, and big business executives to exchange theories, applications, and cutting-edge technologies of geothermal exploration, development, and utilization of geothermal energy in various countries, and to share the results of geothermal industry development, regulations, policies, and solutions in order to promote geothermal industry to play a greater role in the global energy transformation. We firmly believe that with the attention and support from all of you, geothermal will become one of the most popular and competitive energy source in the world in the future and make more contribution to the solving global energy issues. Now let's give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Zhang Guoqing, Vice Premier of
Thank you very much, Vice Premier Guo Qing, for your insightful speech. Vice Premier Guo Qing pointed out the vast trend of global green development and emphasized that we need to follow the guidance of President Xi and the dual carbon vision to promote the high-quality development of clean energy, continue to deepen the international exchanges and share and learn from each other's experience, and open up the new scenario of win-win cooperation. The Prime Minister of Iceland, Ms. Katrin Jakobsdóttir, could not be present here today due to her tight schedule, so she sent her best wishes through a video message, and I'd like to give, so please play the video.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. 2 years ago, I had the pleasure of giving the opening speech at the World Geothermal Congress in Reykjavik, and today I am honored to send my best greetings to Beijing. Although not entirely impartial, allow me to say that I find it very fitting that the last two events have taken place in Iceland and now in China. I say this because our story is indeed an excellent example of successful bilateral cooperation on how to use geothermal resources for the benefit of our peoples. Recently, China and Iceland celebrated half a century of friendly diplomatic relations and the 15th anniversary of our formal cooperation in the field of geothermal utilization. But our bilateral geothermal cooperation extends back more than 40 years, when the first Chinese experts came to Iceland to study at the UN University Geothermal Program and receive training in the use of geothermal technology for house heating and to produce electricity. Later, this government-to-government cooperation led to important results. The well-known joint venture of Sinopec and Arctic Green Energy, operating under the name Sinopec Green Energy, now provides more than 70 cities and counties in China with renewable district heating. It has become the largest geothermal district heating provider in the world and has not only improved the air quality of many major cities, but also reduced China's carbon footprint by 20 million tons. This is remarkable. It's an important sign that the green transition is possible and increases well. From a policy standpoint, due to the promise given to geothermal energy is a renewable resource. Electricity is produced with geothermal energy only in some 26 countries and for district heating in 70 countries. With constantly advancing technologies, geothermal energy can become an even larger part of the global electricity production, as well as the heating and cooling of cities. Considering the many advantages of geothermal energy, we need greater awareness by policymakers and more support to technological advancements. And we need to reduce the competitive advantage that subsidized carbon fuel has had over renewable energy. Commenting on the latest report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, UN Secretary General Guterres stated clearly, "Our world needs climate action on all fronts, everything, everywhere, all at once." And this is why it's our joint responsibility to make COP28 in Dubai a success. This summer, again, we witnessed unprecedented record temperatures in Europe. We watched floods and droughts around the world caused by extreme weather patterns and climate change. In Iceland, we continue to see our glaciers receding, and we worry about the change of the chemistry and circulation in our oceans in ways that could disrupt the entire marine ecosystem. According to the International Energy Agency, energy accounts for more than 70% of pending climate catastrophe. Therefore, a clean energy transition needs to be our primary focus, and this transition must be just and ensure a fair sharing of the economic burden. Finally, results can only be achieved through robust international cooperation. The World Geothermal Congress plays its part as it brings together key interlocutors in the field of geothermal energy to exchange information and experience, to pool ideas and resources, and to build bridges between countries, companies, and peoples. I wish you productive days and fruitful deliberations, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Ms. Katrine Jacobs-Stier, for your thought-provoking speech. Iceland uses indigenous renewable energy for more than 80% of its primary energy supply, and is one of the most advanced countries in the world in development and utilization of geothermal energy. Long-term cooperation between China and Iceland in the field of geothermal energy will make a greater contribution to mankind's common response to the challenge of climate change. Next, I would like to give the floor to the Deputy Chairman of the SASAC, Mr. Gou Ping, to deliver a remark. Your Honorable Vice Premier Zhang Guoqing, distinguished leaders and guests, good morning. In the beautiful autumn, the World Geothermal 23 is officially a great event for geothermal field in the world. Vice Premier Zhang Guoqing attended this Congress and delivered a very important speech and a call for action of a global collaboration, which is of great significance for enhancing geothermal collaboration in the world to build a green earth. And it also instilled confidence to all of us here. So, entrusted by our chair, I would like to, on behalf of SASAC, extend a warm congratulations on the convening of today's Congress. In September in 2020, President Xi made a solemn commitment to realize carbon peaking and carbon neutrality to the world. And in the past 3 years, in energy structural transformation and green development of industry and accelerating in the enhancement of renewable energy field, demonstrated a very sound pattern and trend.
Sinopec and other state-owned enterprises, together with international counterparts, to promote the geothermal development and industry. The utilization amount of geothermal has been ranking #1 in the world for many years, and geothermal energy has become a very important growth point to counter climate change in the world, with a lot of room to improve and potential. Now, today's world has transformed from fossil fuel-based energy to non-fossil fuels energy. Promoting the green and low-carbon transformation of energy mix is the responsibility of the history as well as the common sense for different parties. SASAC, together with other center companies, are willing to communicate with others and to have more cooperation exchanges on clean energy to promote the clean energy industry, including geothermal, to have a high quality development and promote the global economic growth. We are willing to work with other parties to promote low carbon, green and efficient energy system, to promote wind, solar, geothermal and other new renewable energies, to promote a renewable energies high integration and consumption percentage, and to promote the integration of different energy mix and to promote the intelligent development of energy industry. We are willing to cooperate with others to develop new technologies for green development and build more green innovation platforms to promote the integration and cooperation of industry, research, and academics, to promote the low carbon, zero carbon, negative carbon, and other key technologies development, to promote the efficiency of development and technological level, to promote the scale development of results, and to have new and smart production. We are willing to work with others to have a green and low carbon development model and to have international cooperation in this regard, and to have the green and low carbon projects along the Belt and Road Initiative, and to have the high caliber personnel in green and low carbon sector to promote the business model and lifestyle of green and low carbon development, to promote a clear sky, cleaner air, and a greener world. Dear friends, safeguarding the ecological civilization is a concern of human future, and it is also of great significance. I believe that with our practical cooperation, we can have a more and better development to make more contribution to achieve the dual carbon objectives and to build a human community with a shared future. I wish a great success of this Congress. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Director Gou Ping, for your wonderful speech. Now let's give the floor to Mr. Zhang Jianhua, Administrator of National Energy Administration of China. Welcome. Distinguished Vice Premier Zhang Guoqing, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, good morning. It is my great pleasure to meet with all of you, old and new friends here in Beijing, to talk about the development of global geothermal industry and talk about the development for green and low carbon development. So on behalf of National Energy Administration of China, I would like to extend my warm congratulations on the convening of the World Geothermal Congress 2023, and I would like also to extend my warm gratitude, heartfelt gratitude for your long-term support to China's energy industry. Low carbon green transformation is the historical choice for China to usher in a better world, and it is a requirement for us to have a better future. China has adhered to the thoughts of ecological civilization of President Xi, and has adhered to the 4 revolutions and one cooperation, the new energy security strategy to promote different renewable energies, including geothermal. And we have seen great breakthroughs in those renewable energy development. And we are entering a new stage to promote renewable energy. But by the end of July, the renewable energies installed capacity reached 13.45 gigawatts, and as a geothermal energy, which is a very important part of renewable energy, it is very reliable and it has a very great potential for development. In China's low carbon transformation, it has played a very vital role. According to statistics, in northern part of China, the clean heating has made great contribution, over 30% of this contribution to reduce air pollution, and it has played a key role to have a better environment factor and to have a cleaner air. In recent years, China's National Energy Administration has paid great attention to the development of geothermal energy, and in 2012 and 2016, based on with Sinopec's support, we have organized the Technical Promotion Center for Geothermal Technology, as well as the committee, the Professional Committee for Geothermal Energy, to promote the the industry's development. We also cooperate with other departments to issue different opinions on promoting geothermal energy as well as the geothermal industry's development in the 14th five-year plan. And our goal is to have over 50% of increase for the heating and cooling with geothermal, and the installed capacity of geothermal will double by 2025 compared with that in 2020. And the scale of geothermal will have a very big leap to reach 60 million tons of standard coal. All of those measures will promote the development of China's energy industry. Ladies and gentlemen, the economic recovery in the world is still very weak. We still have a lot of conflict in the political area, so there are a lot of potential for energy crisis and energy problems. So we need to have concerted efforts to promote the development in this sector. We need to promote the innovation of geothermal energy to have geothermal heating, shallow geothermal, and as well as some other key technologies and key solutions to promote the development level or ability of geothermal technology. Second, we need to promote the application and demonstration of geothermal technologies to meet the requirements of the market. And we need to actively make geothermal energy able to provide cooling and heating, and also to have new management skills and market-oriented market mechanisms for geothermal. Third, we need to promote the geothermal international governance to have a better partnership with other countries and promote the mutually beneficial cooperation with other countries and industries to promote the overall development for the whole chain. We will also promote the cooperation with international organizations like International Geothermal Association to promote the sustainable development of geothermal in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, China has an old saying, is that if we can work all the time, we will reach our destination. If we can work all together, we can reach our destination and realize our goal. So geothermal has great potential with a lot of promising prospect. Let's join hands and have more synergy of cooperation and development to promote high-quality development of geothermal and promote a more harmonious development between man and nature. I wish a great success of World Geothermal Congress 2023. Thank you very much, Administrator Jianhua. Now let's give the floor to Mr. Li Jinfa, President of China Geological Survey. Distinguished Vice Premier Zhang Guoqing, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, here on the occasion of the opening ceremony of the World Geothermal Congress 2023, on behalf of China Geological Survey, I would like to extend my congratulations on the convening of the Congress. And as for this Congress, with the theme of clean geothermal and green Earth, I believe that with the support and participation of the scholars and the experts from all over the world. This will become a very fruitful event and promote the cooperation between China and other countries in geothermal energy industry and promote high-quality development of geothermal. Geothermal resource is a clean and low-carbon renewable energy source. In the green transformation in the world and promoting sustainable development, it plays a very key role. Chinese government plays great importance in this. President Xi Jinping mentions that we need to give a high priority to clean technology, clean resource, and he also has given us a very clear requirements to promote clean development. China Geological Survey is an organization with a technical survey for geological conditions in China. We meet the requirements of high quality and clean development and promote the hydrothermal and shallow thermal geothermal energy to have the new survey data for China's geothermal energy. In recent years, we have also provided services for the national strategies for Tianjin, Beijing, and Hebei province, and also the Great Guangdong area, and also some other technological innovation programs. So we have had some other projects and exploration, and also the projects have been successfully generated power. So these projects have laid a great foundation for the development of geothermal energy in China. Next, China's Geological Survey will have the comprehensive and new development mode. So with the guidance of Vice Premier Zhang Guoqing, we will follow through the work and to promote the National Survey of Geothermal Energy in China, and we will promote the exploration technology as well as make more breakthroughs in the key equipment and promote the overall industry. Today, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today, green and low carbon transformation is an international consensus.
So skilled and high-quality development of the geothermal industry has entered a new phase. Exploring frontier technologies in this sector is a joint responsibility of all of us. We need to reinforce frontier technology research and leverage platforms like World Geothermal Congress as a platform to seek more collaborative opportunities and enhance pragmatic, high-quality, and fast development of geothermal industry in the future to build harmonious world with harmony between human and nature. Last but not least, I wish the World Geothermal Congress 2023 a full success. Thank you. Thank you very much, Jinfa, for your insightful speech. Next, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Sylvain Broglie, President of International Geothermal Association. The floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, my dear geothermal community, good morning. A special welcome to the official delegation. Your Excellencies, Minister, President, warm welcome. All protocol observed. We are together here in Beijing for the World Geothermal Congress. The IGA, together with the organization committee, and in particular with the incredible and untireless support of Sinopec team, we have, during the last months, working very hard to present you here in Beijing the best World Geothermal Congress. What is happening to our planet? We are all confronted, all our humanity, we are faced with wildfires, extreme bad weather conditions, melting glacier, seawater level increase, change of biodiversity, just to name a few critical points on the list. All those dangerous issues are impacted the population and its human-created problem. But I am convinced that could be turned into a solution. Everything that happened was predicted. Humanity is threatened by humanity itself. Our planet is mistreated. Our population, our natures are suffering. The geothermal industry can make a significant and meaningful changes, different of these issues. We can build jobs, we can build economy, we can contribute on clean and robust renewable energy, and we can, with geothermal, be part of the solution. We are not here in China by chance, not at all. We have carefully planned this venue since 2019, this event to take place here in China. The candidature of China was submitted in Auckland in 2019, and the organization committee, supported by personality and companies, among them Sinopec, had a good and long-term vision at that time to select China for the WGC 23. Mr. President Olafur Grimsson, here present, himself, during an opening speech in the General Assembly in Arena in 2020, underlined how important this WGC 22 in Beijing will be. And here we are. Our industry can build geothermal energy into a force for change. We can make geothermal anywhere, anytime, as we expand our industry, research, and innovate in technology. The WGC 23 is taking place during a new era of the energy transition, a new era for IGA, and a new era for the global geothermal. The new era of the energy transition focused our decision maker, our governance, our institution, industry, investor, developer, off-taker, customer, to innovate, adapt, support, develop more and more renewable energy content with an affordable price in our energy mix and storage. The new era of IGA is turning our international association into a stronger industry-oriented unit and partnership with project and development orientation. But IGA will also be involved in setting up financial scheme, associated funds and resources for geothermal greenfield project development. In terms of organization, we are also entering in a new era with the nomination of 7 vice presidents in charge of business units in 7 large countries and regions, among them China, Europe, Asia Pacific, America, Canada, Caribbean, Eurasia, Middle East, Africa, and South and Central America. IGA and VPs will focus on the following major tasks: standardization, and we had a tremendous good meetings a couple of days ago working together with Sinopec and the China authorities in this field. Establish a long-term heating and cooling standard international commission. Supporting industry, implementing international projects around the world. Working with each other. It was mentioned before. Boost innovation and development of the geothermal technology together. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go long, go together. Raise global awareness of the important contribution geothermal makes of dealing with climate change. training program on each and every level of the geothermal with value chain graduated with recognized and rewarding IGA level. Set up financial partnership on global risk mitigation fund. Within the new era, we maintain IGA historical activity, but modernized the academical approach. We modernized the legislative aspect, and we are modernizing the digital transformation in geothermal. The new era of geothermal, yes, geothermal is one of the ways to become the important actor to contribute the achievement of the target zero carbon emission in 2030. Since long time, geothermal is recognized and utilized in several countries for production of electricity, district heating and cooling, direct use, and more recently, lithium and mineral recovery. Geothermal resources were never considered as a valuable energy resources that could be expanded and even traded around the world, and being a large contributor on carbon emission reduction. During the last years, the geothermal situation, the geopolitical situation, the pandemic, the international crisis have in most of the country considerably impact the increases of energy costs, and of course have affected, transformed our way of living. Due to this constraint, our industry innovated, developed geothermal plant for more efficient production, greener energy production, and lower production costs. IGA task is to support our industry worldwide in the innovation and the development of the global geothermal application, allowing a larger and faster implementation of the projects. The World Geothermal Congress is the platform of exchanging information, present new technology, strategize with partner, discover prospects and projects, facilitate the risk mitigation discussion, resource project find much more. We can around 4 major aspects of geothermal technology: electricity generation, direct heat and industrial use, heating and cooling, lithium and mineral recovery. With these 3 days, we will hear about momentous changes we are bringing the geothermal world to help you achieve this vision and success in whatever part of the great geothermal energy you are playing in. For those that could not assist and come to Beijing, we are broadcasting the opening and closing ceremony. We have over 500 technical presentations, 10 keynote speaker and panel discussion, 220 exhibitors covering a large range of topics. We have brought in our event as much as possible face-to-face discussion. At these worldwide conferences, you have the unique opportunity, and we would encourage you to highlight debates, visit our exhibitor, exchange with friend colleagues, assist to the presentation and our technical program. In this conference, we have purposely brought together the world geothermal industry, covering the global international geothermal activity. I am confident that this relationship will grow stronger and stronger, and we can build a symbiotic approach to geothermal energy in the public's vision of heat and power across industry and property. This conference exists because your attendees, because you are here to engage, learn, attract a wide range of participants from around the world and bring our diversity community together for several days of learning, exchanging ideas and fellowship. I would like to thank you, all of you participants, but also the organizer and the volunteers. I especially would like to thank you at this level, the Chinese government and the Committee of Organization, Sinopec. Whatever you are looking into the global geothermal world, whatever it will be a meeting with other researchers, academicians, discussion that the latest scientific innovation, looking for career opportunity, meeting customer, vendors, investors, sharing experience, or discovering the latest technology, innovation or service across the geothermal industry, with this conference, WGC in Beijing, is the conference that will kick off a new era of geothermal. I wish all of you a fruitful and rich and successful worldwide conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Sylvain Broglie, for your wonderful remarks. Next, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Ma Yongsheng, Chairman of China Petrochemical Corporation, a member of the Chinese Academy of Engineering, to deliver a speech. The floor is yours, Mr. Ma. Distinguished Vice Premier Mr. Zhang Guoqing, and Your Excellency Mr. Grimson, and Your Honorable Mr. Sylvain Broglie, distinguished leaders, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. In this beautiful season of autumn, we're gathered here in Beijing to discuss the vision of a green, low-carbon future and collaborate on the development of the geothermal industry. First of all, on behalf of the organizing committee of this conference and Sinopec, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all distinguished guests attending this event. I would like to also express heartfelt gratitude to all leaders and friends who have supported the preparation of this World Geothermal Conference and the Congress and development of the petrochemical industry of China. So, clean, geothermal, and green earth is the theme of this Congress, which deeply explores the path of geothermal industry's development, and which have great significance for promoting global green, low-carbon transformation and facilitating clean and efficient energy development and utilization. In recent years, under guidance of President Xi Jinping's ecological civilization ideology, China's geothermal industry has achieved remarkable results. So, in building ourselves in the to an avant-garde energy and chemical company, we tried to abide by the transformation trends and industry development trend. We have vigorously implemented blue sky clear water action, and for 12 consecutive years, we are the energy and chemical company with most frequent award winnings.
In the field of geothermal energy, we have been dedicated for over a decade, accumulating a geothermal heating capacity of 85 million square meters and a lot of other projects. We also have had the Xiongxian model for geothermal development, which has been included in the global promotion project by the International Renewable Energy Agency. We also have completed several regional hydrothermal geothermal heating projects, and we have become a business model for other partners in the industry. So in our next step, we will also make full use of our technology, personnel, and resources to promote the high quality development of geothermal energy industry. First, we will vigorously promote the leading development of geothermal technology and standards. We will make full use of the National Geothermal Energy Center and the Geothermal Energy Standards Committee, the China Ice and Snow Geothermal Center, and to promote the standardization of the industry and to enhance the efficiency of the geothermal resource development and utilization. Second, we will vigorously promote the leading development of geothermal applications and scale, and we will also strive to promote our projects in different areas of China and to have 75 million square meters of geothermal heating capacity and reach a heating capacity of 160 million square meters by the end of 14th five-year plan period. And we will also, third, vigorously promote the leading development of geothermal benefits and branding. And we want to build our brand with the international recognition and government trust, as well as the trust by the government and the people. We also want to make our due contribution to promote the development of a cleaner and more beautiful world. I wish a great success of this World Geothermal Congress 2023, and I wish the good health and all the luck for all the friends and guests here today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, President Yongsheng. Just now, the honorable guests who gave us speeches have comprehensively introduced the current global and national energy development trends and policies, as well as the development of geothermal energy and other renewable sources, and put forward suggestions on how to better strengthen international exchanges and jointly promote the high-quality development of global geothermal clean energy. I believe that with the platform of World Geothermal Congress, we are bound to continue to push forward more mutually beneficial and win-win cooperation on clean energy and make more contribution. Thank you very much for your wonderful speeches. We would like to express our special thanks to China National Petroleum Corporation, China National Offshore Oil Corporation, and China Oil and Gas Pipeline Network Company for your strong support for the successful opening of the Congress. And we also would like to thank our Congress partners, Arctic Green Energy, Honeywell, and Kunshan Tekta Electromechanics Company. Thank you very much. Now I announce the end of the opening ceremony for World Geothermal Congress 2023.
Now, let's have a rest. Please come back at 10:20 a.m. on time. The keynote speech will be given then.
This is our homeland. We can find here the sound of nature, the beauty of life, and the magic of energy. The blue planet, with its infinite energy resources, gives us driving force for development and inspires us to move bravely forward. They are hidden in magnificence of peaks and lakes, and are winding in the depths of wilderness and snow mountains. warm and bright. In China, from farming civilization to modern society, geothermal enjoyed a time-honored history. When geothermal resources enter thousands of households, when pursuing green living becomes the mainstream, human development will be more closely related to nature, and our lives will embrace more lasting vitality. When new technologies are flourishing, the light of energy revolution will shine on every corner of the earth. Every installation will be busy creating a rich and colorful life. Every endeavor will be made to realize our green dream. The more heat we have, the more green life we would enjoy. We never stop. The resource of nature and the power of science and technology will lead to the utilization of the cleanest energy resources and the creation of a better life. This is our homeland. We can find here the sound of nature, the beauty of life, and the magic of energy. The blue planet, with its infinite energy resources, gives us driving force for development and inspires us to move bravely forward. They are hidden in magnificence of peaks and lakes, and are winding in the depths of wilderness and snow mountains. Geothermal energy reserves are gifts from nature. They are warm and bright. In China, from farming civilization to modern society, geothermal enjoyed a time-honored history. When geothermal resources enter thousands of households, when pursuing green living becomes the mainstream, human development will be more closely related to nature, and our lives will embrace more lasting vitality. When new technologies are flourishing, the light of energy revolution will shine on every corner of the earth. Every installation will be busy creating a rich and colorful life. Every endeavor will be made to realize our green dream. The more heat we have, the more green life we would enjoy. We never stop. The resource of nature and the power of science and technology will lead to the utilization of the cleanest energy resources and the creation of a better life. This is our homeland. We can find here the sound of nature, the beauty of life, and the magic of energy. The blue planet, with its infinite energy resources, gives us driving force for development and inspires us to move bravely forward. They are hidden in magnificence of peaks and lakes, and are winding in the depths of wilderness and snow mountains. Geothermal energy reserves are gifts from nature. They are warm and bright. In China, from farming civilization to modern society, geothermal enjoyed a time-honored history. When geothermal resources enter thousands of households, when pursuing green living becomes the mainstream, human development will be more closely related to nature, and our lives will embrace more lasting vitality. When new technologies are flourishing, the light of energy revolution will shine on every corner of the earth. Every installation will be busy creating a rich and colorful life. Every endeavor will be made to realize our green dream. The more heat we have, the more green life we would enjoy. We never stop. The resource of nature and the power of science and technology will lead to the utilization of the cleanest energy resources and the creation of a better life. This is our homeland. We can find here the sound of nature, the beauty of life, and the magic of energy. The blue planet, with its infinite energy resources, gives us driving force for development and inspires us to move bravely forward. They are hidden in magnificence of peaks and lakes, and are winding in the depths of wilderness and snow mountains. Geothermal energy reserves are gifts from nature. They are warm and bright. In China, from farming civilization to modern society, geothermal enjoyed a time-honored history. When geothermal resources enter thousands of households, when pursuing green living becomes the mainstream, human development will be more closely related to nature, and our lives will embrace more lasting vitality. When new technologies are flourishing, the light of energy revolution will shine on every corner of the earth. Every installation will be busy creating a rich and colorful life. Every endeavor will be made to realize our green dream. The more heat we have, the more green life we would enjoy. We never stop. The resource of nature and the power of science and technology will lead to the utilization of the cleanest energy resources and the creation of a better life.
尊敬的各位来宾，本次会议即将开始，请您尽快就座，并将手机等通讯设备关闭或置于静音状态。谢谢您的合作。
Ladies and gentlemen, the event will begin shortly. Can we please ask for you to kindly take your seats? We would like to remind you again to switch off all mobile phones and put electronic devices to silent mode. Thank you for your cooperation.
尊敬的各位来宾，本次会议即将开始，请您尽快就座，并将手机等通讯设备关闭或置于静音状态。谢谢您的合作。
Ladies and gentlemen, the event will begin shortly. Can we please ask for you to kindly take your seats? We would like to remind you again to switch off all mobile phones and put electronic devices to silent mode. Thank you for your cooperation.
尊敬的各位来宾，本次会议即将开始，请您尽快就座，并将手机等通讯设备关闭或置于静音状态。谢谢您的合作。
Ladies and gentlemen, the event will begin shortly. Can we please ask for you to kindly take your seats? We would like to remind you again to switch off all mobile phones and put electronic devices to silent mode. Thank you for your cooperation.
尊敬的各位来宾，本次会议即将开始，请您尽快就座，并将手机等通讯设备关闭或置于静音状态。谢谢您的合作。
Ladies and gentlemen, the event will begin shortly. Can we please ask for you to kindly take your seats? We would like to remind you again to switch off all mobile phones and put electronic devices to silent mode. Thank you for your cooperation.
尊敬的各位来宾，本次会议即将开始，请您尽快就座，并将手机等通讯设备关闭或置于静音状态。谢谢您的合作。
Ladies and gentlemen, the event will begin shortly. Can we please ask for you to kindly take your seats? We would like to remind you again to switch off all mobile phones and put electronic devices to silent mode. Thank you for your cooperation.
有请主持人、国际地热协会理事、2023年世界地热大会组织委员会委员、国家地热能中心技术委员会委员刘九荣。
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our host, Mr. Liu Jiurong, International Geothermal Association Board Member, Member of World Geothermal Congress 2023 Organizing Committee, Member of China National Geothermal Energy Center Technology Committee.
distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, good morning. According to the program, it's time for keynote speech. We invited 4 distinguished experts to give keynote reports, including Ms. Margaret Bromer, the Chair of Technical Committee of WGC 2023, and also the CEO of International Geothermal Association. Mr. Luis Negron, former board member of IGA and director of Mexico Geothermal Association. Ms. Adele Mazzella, board member of IGA, and Mr. Guo Xusheng, academician of the Chinese Academy of Engineering, the director of Technical Committee of National Geothermal Energy Development, Utilization and Research Center. Firstly, let's invite Ms. Margaret Bromer, CEO of IGA. She will give her overall explanation of the technical papers. Please welcome Ms. Bromer.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and my beloved and dear international community. Thank you for coming. I am proud to stand here today, and it is marking success. And please allow me to share some of our success numbers with you. It has been quite a ride, I must admit. I am CEO of the IGA, the International Geothermal Association. You've heard our chairman speak this morning, and it was for us a huge honor to be co-hosting, co-organizing, and co-chairing this World Geothermal Congress 23 here in Beijing. I am also the technical chair of the program. So part of IGA's role is to run through and to work with a lot of people worldwide, out of whom I have seen so many of you here today as well, who worked with the most excellent academic, scientific exchange possibilities over the coming 3 days. Some numbers. 1,863 abstracts were submitted. This was a journey, ladies and gentlemen, of 3.5 years. We started in 2019. We have survived, if I may say so, a global pandemic. We have seen obstacles on the way. We have had 3 times that we had to change the dates. And still, 1,863 abstracts were submitted to join us here. We have worked with people, 135 reviewers worldwide, coming from Indonesia, coming from Chile, coming from the US, coming from Europe, and of course from China. 135 people have joined us in our review committee to work through those 1,863 papers, out of which we have accepted 793 papers to be presented here in China. We have also committee meetings. Many of them. Late nights, early morning, all over the world, 24-hour cycles, because our reviewers and our technical committee comes from all over the world, because we are a global community. This is not a national conference. This is not a bilateral conference. This is the interglobal conference. This is where world leaders, where industry leaders, where academics, where scientists and enthusiasts come and meet and be convened. This is over 55 countries that are joining in. And yes, we would have liked to see more, but this is it. 55 countries from all over the world presenting their stories, joining in scientific exchange, building relationships, and seeing the youth coming as well is an excellent showcase of success. The technical program, 10 parallel sessions. We have 507 speakers, and we have 274 posters. So I do invite all of you, when you have a moment, to go to the posters and exchange your thoughtful discussions with the ones who are presenting the posters, both on the second and the third floor. We have 10 parallel sessions, each consisting of 6 papers and presenters. And the chairs of those 90 sessions that we have, I do wholeheartedly thank you. Thank you for volunteering. Without volunteers, this could not be happening. So thank you for joining, and thank you for chairing, and thank you for being with us. Besides the papers and the posters, I would like to thank also my entire technical committee. As I said, 24-hour cycles, we have been going through meetings, online meetings, in crazy hours over the past 3.5 years. And you stood with me. And you stood also with my co-chair. So without Gregor Roomberg, thank you, on behalf of IGA, without the technical program co-chair, I don't think we would have had such a marvelous program. I do appreciate that sometimes to navigate the program is still difficult. So you can see me, I'm wearing a blue jacket and I'm wearing an orange type of trousers, but do find me. Find me if you have something that you need to clarify. We are on our booth at the WGC exhibition space. You're welcome for a coffee, for a chat, to upload your presentation if that should still need to be, but also to find your session if there is anything that you need help with in trying to navigate this Congress, you come and find us. We're here to help. Lastly, but certainly not least, without Sinopec, without our host, without the ones who have put this Congress to every detail. Last night, it gave me the goosebumps. I think all of you have been present yesterday evening with not only a fantastic dinner, but also the art and the performance that was shown to us as an international community was simply amazing. So I thank Sinopec for their endeavors, their activities, but also hosting as prime host, the organization committee. As CEO, I have been through 3 organization committees for this Congress. I have seen 3 chairs. I have seen 3 presidents, including in my own organization. I have seen 2 steering committees changing over the past 3.5 years. I am, if you like, the continued face of this Congress. But 16 OC-SC meetings, I thank you for your time that you have spent to work with us, to deepen our relationship, to build friendship, and to come together in a world that is not easy sometimes to come together into. So to find each other online, but also, and I do thank you very much for that as well, you visited us in The Hague. 2 delegations came from China to visit me in my headquarters and in my beautiful hometown in The Hague. We had food, we shared fruitful discussions, we had in-depth conversations on how to manage and navigate these challenges that were still on the way. Sylvain, me, and Gregor, we visited Beijing 2 weeks prior to this Congress. We were received with the utmost hospitality and respect. And this has created, in my opinion, one of the most fruitful ways of collaboration. Respect, trust, and friendship. I wish all of you, from wherever you are on this planet, you came to Beijing to enjoy the hospitality provided by Sinopec, the international flavor provided by the IGA. And I wish you not only to have technical conversations, in-depth scientific exchanges to advance geothermal. We have a role to play in the energy transition space. We have ownership of creating a life we want to live in 2050 and 2060. But also, we got to have fun. So enjoy. I hope you have a wonderful 3 days. And out of my role as technical chair, I would really like to say thank you for coming. Thank you for joining, and thank you for presenting your hard work. Thank you.
Ms. Blomer. Ms. Blomer gave a detailed introduction about the paper call-info, reviewing parallel sessions, and poster sessions. It should be mentioned that we overcome the impact of COVID-19 in 2021 and 2022, and steadily pushed forward the technical program according to plan. Please thank Ms. Blomer again. Now, let's invite Mr. Louis Nagrian to present his keynote report. His report is about world geothermal power generation. Please, Mr. Nagrian.
Thank you very much for the nice presentation. Welcome, everyone. I am going to talk about the current situation of geothermal power in the world. And let me, well, this is the official title, the report of the progress of power generation. Let me start by presenting the current situation of the installed capacity and the power generation in this graph. You can see here the installed capacity in megawatts, and the other side of the graph is the generation expressed in gigawatts per hour in the last 40 years, more or less, from 1980 to this year. No? In this moment, all our numbers approximate. The installed capacity, as you can see there, is a little more than 16 megawatts, and the power generation is a little more than 6,000 gigawatts hours. In the next slide are presented the numbers from which this graph come. You can see years since 1980 to 2023, but it's important to have in mind that the figures that we are presenting, for instance, now in 2023, correspond to 1 or 2 years ago, because the lapse between the collection of the data and the time where these data are published. That is why, in parentheses, you can see more or less the actual year for capacity, for the data of capacity and generation. In the data in red. So we generate capacity, which is the theoretical generation of this plant, for this specific plant, if the plant is operating all the years, all the hours. No? Of course, it's a term that is contribution of geothermal to the total electricity installed capacity in all the world. No? You can see that in the 80s it was 0.2% and now is 0.3%. In the next slide are the actual figures. You can see the total generation of electricity in the last year. The electricity produced, generated by clean energies, considering clean energies basically as renewable energies, nuclear plus some species to produce that use. That thermal was 0.3 for clean energies. These are very tiny numbers, of course. No? But for some countries, like these 7 countries that you have there, geothermal generation is very significant. It's a game changer. No? You can see that in the graph, the percentage to the total consumption in the country headed were almost half the use in the country by geothermal. With the total is almost the half of the electricity generated by clean energies. In this graph, we have the top 10 countries, I mean, considering the installed capacity, the installed geothermal capacity, which are headed by the US, the United States of America, and then Indonesia, Philippines, Turkey, and the rest of the countries, the total. In the geothermal capacity since the last Congress in Iceland and now. And the total is around 850 megawatts, more or less, which means, of course, a small increase of less than 2% annually. Here we have the worldwide distribution of geothermal power energy distributed in the main tech and so here is the approximate location of the 31 countries which in this moment have a power unit in operation in the world. No? And here we have the total installed capacity by each of the main tectonic plates. You can see here that the Eurasian plate is in the first place, and then is North American plate, which is basically the US and Mexico, then the Australian plate, which is basically New Zealand, the African plate, which is represented basically by Kenya, and then the Caribbean plate with several small countries of Central America, then the South American plate, which is basically Chile, one only country, and finally the Pacific plate, which are the Hawaiian Island, which of course are part of the United States, but are located in another different plate, the Pacific plate. So in this moment, we have the same installed capacity that I mentioned in 31 countries and 7 tectonic plates. So here is the geothermal power generation for the traditional continents. In the top, we have Oceania, and then Asia, America, Africa, and Europe. No? This is more or less the distribution since 1991, when the first official World Geothermal Congress was held in Italy, in Florence, up to the situation in this moment with the installed capacity in each of the continents. In 1995, that was the installed capacity, and now we have this little bit more than 16,000 megawatts. So we need to move go ahead to try to present a quick snapshot of the geothermal powers in some of the significant countries in the world that for one or other reason their country updates reports are not going to be present in this Congress, starting by the Philippines, which is the third country in the world according to their installed capacity. Here we have a map of the Philippines. The Philippines has three main electric grids in all the country, which are those that you can see there, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao electric grids. And here you have the total installed capacity in each of these grids and the contribution and the geothermal power installed capacity in the same grids. The Philippines differentiates between the installed capacity and dependable capacity, which is the running capacity, the capacity to be used to provide effectively electricity to the country. Here are the characteristics, the features of the power plants in operation in this country, in the Philippines. The flash plants, other plants, and the binary organic Rankine cycle plants, their capacity and their generation in the last year. And finally, here are the main parameters, let's say, of the country with the total of geothermal fields in operation, the average capacity factor for geothermal in the last year with figures, with numbers taken from the Department of Energy of the Philippines. Here is another country, very important country, which is Turkey. Here is the map of Turkey. You can see a lot of small points, which are the superficial geothermal manifestations identified in this country. And here we have the same data about the amount and type and generation and capacity of the geothermal power plants in operation in the country, the amount, the number of geothermal fields in operation, the average capacity factor, and so on. But in this case, I would like to highlight the extraordinary, the amazing growth that Turkey have experienced in the last 20 years. Because in 2005, as you can see there was only one geothermal power plant in operation in the country with 20 megawatts, and now, as you can see, there are 17,000 megawatts with several more plants. Why was that? You can see there some of the main reasons for this happen. The program of incentives, the feed-in tariffs, which are competitive in Turkey, the existence of a geothermal law, a specific geothermal law in there, but mainly the decision of the state to develop all the first stage in exploration, including the drilling of the first exploration wells, and then transfer the development to private companies, which is a model that maybe in some other countries we can follow. Here is the case of Kenya, which is also a country with an amazing development. There you can see the main geothermal manifestations along the Rift Valley in Africa, and the same data for Africa. There were just two geothermal fields in operation that you can see there, the Olkaria geothermal field and the Burru geothermal field, but a month ago, 2-3 months ago, a third geothermal field started to operate in Kenya, the Menengai camp, with the first unit of 35 megawatts, which is not included in the total capacity in 2022. So here we are the total type capacity, average capacity generation, and capacity factor of all the geothermal power units in operation in the world. 671 plants according to the country update reports and some other sources that we consult, with the main characteristics that you can see there. Other includes, of course, combination between flash or condensing plants and binary cycle plants, but also include, in this case, two small Kalina binary cycle plants. One in Japan, two in Japan. Okay, these are just to present graphically the distribution in percentage of the type of plants regarding the number of units in operation. No? You can see there that 42% of all the geothermal plants in operation in the world last year were binary plants, and only 38% were flash type plants. But if we consider the capacity of the same units in operation, we obtain a little different graph. No? In this case, more than half of the megawatts in operation in the world are installed in flash condensing plants, and just 22% are binary cycle, organic Rankine cycle power plants. Here is the same, but considering the effective generation produced in the last years, 2021 and 2022, and again, most than the half of the total geothermal produced electric energy was generated by flash plants, and a fifth of the total by binary plants. So here is the capacity factor. The capacity factor is the combination between condensing and binary or other type plants, which presented a high capacity factor of almost 75%, followed by the flash plants, binary, and so on. The global, as we said already, is almost 67.8%, which is a very good capacity factor if we consider that a solar plant has around 12–15% of capacity factor, and the aeolic, the wind plant facilities for generate electricity around 30%, onshore plants. No? So the capacity of geothermal is very high compared with this other renewable source, because geothermal is the only renewable energy that is able to be dispatched as base load energy, which means that it's operating all the days, all the hours of the year, independently of the weather conditions or so on. This is the total of production wells, just production wells in operation in the world. Numbers are estimated. Just some few countries presented specific data, but in general, we can say that we have in the world around 37,000 geothermal production wells in operation, with that average well production expressed in megawatts per hour. This is the distribution. Of course, more than a fifth of all the wells are installed in the United States. In this table are presented only countries with 200 or more production wells in operation in the world. So let me finish presenting a couple of slides about the projections. Here you have the projection of the International Energy Agency in regarding the capacity and the electric generation, geothermal generation for 2027. I mean, 4 years forward. The International Agency considered those scenarios that you can see. Geothermal is going to be 20 gigawatts, 20 of installed capacity, in the other a little more, and the main generation that. But if we consider the same growth rate that geothermal has presented in the last year, I mean, the business as usual, the projection is even lower than the IEA, and the generation is also lower. But of course, things could be very different in the next years. And why is that? Because these are also the estimations of the projections of the same International Energy Agency, in this case, supported by the International Renewable Energy Agency, also IRENA, which consider that in order to control the global warming in 1.6 Celsius degrees in the last years, the world needs to tripling the installed capacity of geothermal energies and and also to double the efficiency energy. So, in my opinion, that constitutes a very good opportunity window for geothermal because, as I said, it's the only baseload renewable source. And particularly in China, I think that there is very good perspectives. No? Here you have the growth of two very important renewable countries, the solar, photovoltaic, and the wind energy in measurement of China in these two specific renewable sources that have been anticipating the date pledged by the country. So the question that I could leave there is, why not include also geothermal energy in this development? That's it. Thank you very much. Shishi.
Thank you, Mr. Nagrian, for your excellent report. He reported in detail about global progress and future development of geothermal power, released new data, presented the importance of geothermal power generation, energy transition and renewable energy utilization. Please thank Mr. Nagrian again. invite Ms. Anna to report the rise of geothermal direct use in the world. Please, Ms. Mazzara.
With this review. I'm talking about heating and cooling application by geothermal resources, starting with a review. So to frame my reporting, I would like to start with why heating and cooling are becoming more and more important for our wellness, actually, and with respect to our energy demands all around the world. I will talk also a little about data compilation, data reporting. The world is in large demand of energy, and this is increasing with time. These are just a few pictures on the global energy demand around the world and how it is increasing, especially here in Asia. While with this vertical length, some of the continents are essentially now at a constant request or even decreasing sometimes. Asia in particular is enlarging the request, but in general we need a lot of energy. And I just took this picture also to point you, I don't know if you can read them, some of the countries that have the highest energy demand. We will see them later when we talk about geothermal. Of the large energy demand around the world, half is for heating and cooling. Heat is the largest energy sector and user sector. It accounts for also a large part of CO2 emission, because it is still based on a large part of it is still based on fossil fuels. Of these half of energy demand, half, so a quarter in the global energy consumption, is for industrial processes, and another half, about half, is for heating and cooling for buildings, with just a 4% related to agriculture and a very minor part for other uses. This is the general trend now is the electrification of the energy sector, because we want to pass from combustion phase heating, fuel-based, fossil fuel-based, to sustainable, recycled, and stored heat mainly from renewable energies, mainly through electrification. This is part of many energy plants around the world, which is obtained by electric boilers and heat pumps and supported by the heat storage. I wanted to clarify this, because just to clarify how important geothermal energy is in this frame, because geothermal energy can provide directly heating and cooling by hydrothermal resources, heat exchangers, and so on, supported by heat pumps, through ground source heat pumps, and the technologies for geothermal heat storage are also improving. So there is a large role to be played by geothermal energy in this frame. Before giving you the total numbers, I also wanted to let you know how we compile data. We changed slightly the categorization of geothermal heating and cooling data. These World Geothermal Congress define a change with the traditional heating and cooling data collection. International Geothermal Association worked a lot in the last years on defining terms and format for data collection. So when we asked the geothermal association around the world for data, we asked them to rank them in 5 categories, main categories, that are the 5 that you see here: agriculture, industrial process, health, recreation and tourism, heating and cooling for buildings, and other uses. We also asked for information from main geothermal plants for heating and cooling, defining the where, the what, and how. So the field, and the name of the field and regions, the application, and the technologies that were used. For those who are familiar with the previous for a total of 1,000 petajoule per year. And you see from these maps, from these graphs, that mostly of it, the primary part is for heating and cooling for buildings, which is, as we said before, a large part of the energy requested at the global level. A second sector, the second sector by importance, is related to health, recreation, and tourism, which was the traditional one years ago, but is becoming smaller and smaller with respect to the heating and cooling for building. And the third sector is for agriculture and food processing. You see here that industrial process heat is still playing a very minor role for geothermal, whereas at the global level, the energy demand for process heat is very, very large, is the largest in the sector of heating and cooling. How it evolved with time? Well, I was really impressed by the large increase of geothermal production for heating and cooling since the last World Geothermal Congress. It was, with respect to installed capacity, there has been an increase in 3 years. There has been an increase of 60%, and relating for production, so for global annual use, a 44% with respect to the previous World Geothermal Congress. The difference between installed capacity and production is due to the large role played by the installation of geothermal heat pumps. And you see here how much the heating and cooling for building is growing, so at what speed the heating and cooling is growing with time. Now, the next question is where? If we want to know where this is happening, well, let's see a map, and of course, the winner is China. China is our champion for geothermal heating and cooling by far. So if we map the distribution of data for geothermal heating and cooling, we see that it covers a lot. We reported 88 countries for the moment. But mapping in this way, we see the winner, we see the second, which is United States, but it would be hard to understand what is going on in the other countries. So let's take another picture. On the right, you see, if I map with a line all the countries, first top countries played a major role, with China overshading all the others. You see here the names of the top 10 countries, which accounts for only the first five accounts already for 80% of the total installed capacity. And if we go to the energy use, the five top countries accounts for 79% of the total annual energy use. China alone accounts for 56 of them. So we are in a strong, very, very quick and strong increase of use of geothermal energy use, which is very focused on the first countries. If you compare, I don't know if you can read it, but if you compare this list with the previous for installed capacity, you see that Switzerland, which was among the first 10 top countries for installed capacity, is now out, and France is entering thanks to the district heating. District heating, geothermal district heating, especially from hydrothermal resources, play a major role for this contribution. You weighted the data because data needs further check. So for future accounts, it will be very interesting to check also, to weight data, absolute data, with respect to population. It was done in the previous reporting. I would be very interested in comparing it to energy demand for the different countries. But the problem is to find the reliable data for 88 countries around the world, especially for heating and cooling. This will be a real challenge. So for the moment, we are not there yet. Let's see how geothermal energy production improved or changed in time in the different World Geothermal Congress reporting. For doing this exercise, we needed to rank the data differently. And so there are some question marks, especially when we plot this kind of graphs. You can see that there are some strange spikes, so some data should be further checked. For the moment, what I did was to collect data at a continental, geographically continental level. So I inserted a group of what I called transcontinental countries, but these reporting should be improved in the next future. Also because I would like to align with other main official reporting. So you see that for agriculture and food processing, the transcontinental countries, I do not see so this vision, but transcontinental means Armenia, Georgia, Turkey, and Russia countries. Food processing. Have Europe and Asia. Going further for industrial, clinical scale is different from application to application. As I said before, industrial process heat plays a very minor role at the moment in the geothermal heating and cooling realm. But the winner here is Oceania, with an increase with time, and then we have Asia, especially in the last reporting that should be checked further, and then Europe. So for these, The data show some strange pattern which is of this and to have robust quality. Health, recreation and tourism plays a main role in Asia, in transcontinental country, and then in a minor role, but still visible for America and Europe, and very little in Oceania and Africa. But it is increasing in some countries, and it's essentially stable in Europe. And the main player here, heating and cooling for buildings, you have seen how it increased with time, so the quick growth of this application, especially in Asia, but it is increasing all over, also this means increasing also renewable energy, and all countries are on this target, mainly through electrification, whereas for geothermal energy we are saying that geothermal main role contributing not only through electrification but directly from the heat produced, so increasing the efficiency. And we can do it also with heat storage, which is in development for all the technologies, and also in main development with geothermal technologies. To do this, to maximize the contribution, we have also to improve regulatory frameworks, because to maximize the contribution needs policy. So the request, the support of the governments for a regulatory framework able to sustain the market, and also from a point of view of data reporting. Let's see, if we want to improve, as we have done in the last years, so assuming a 40% increase every 5 years, so taking these last 5 years as an example, because this is real, this happened, 40%, more than 40% increase of annual geothermal energy use. If we go on with this same trend, we would obtain a 8,000 petajoule. Very ambitious goal. China could, and I think we want to do this. Each of us playing our part in this main advancement. Energy for heat is, again, I repeat, a main part of it. A part of heating for cooling. building, but also industrial uses. So what I imagine what would be very important to do is to tackle, as we are doing, heating and cooling for building, as China is doing already. Well developed and has always been in the focus of the governments, of the agencies, and the reporting is very robust now. It is not the same for heating and cooling. So we need more strength, and we need to give to International Geothermal Association a stronger voice. It already has. It's our voice all around the world for geothermal data, global geothermal data. It should be also enforced by all the countries in the reporting. A good reporting data requires regulation, because reporting should be enforced by regulation. Harmonization, because we cannot report data in different ways from country to country. So this refers also to the standards that President Broglie already mentioned. It means a quality check from the government, from the association, from International Geothermal Association. This is something that IGA is doing right now and building an IGA database for geothermal data that will provide access, public access to everybody, and will give to geothermal sector the right voice to speak about us. With this, I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Mazzella, for the interesting report. She gave a complete introduction to geothermal direct use all over the world. She especially analyzed the data of heating and cooling use and presented the huge potential of this geothermal space heating. Please thank Ms. Mazzella again. Okay, now we come to the last report. Let's invite Mr. Guo Xuxian, academician of the Chinese Academy of Engineering and Director of Technical Committee of National Geothermal Energy Development, Utilization and Research Center, to present his report. The title of his report is High Quality Development of Geothermal Industry in China. Please, Mr. Guo.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, good morning. With the interest of the China National Geothermal Energy Center, I will have this presentation with the three major parts. I will present the geothermal resource overview to you first in China. China's geothermal energy is abundant, and under the control of tectonic structure, high-temperature geothermal resources are mainly distributed in the Qinghai-Tibet Plateau and its surrounding areas along the plate margin and in the southern coastal areas. So medium and low temperature geothermal resources are widely distributed. So we have different types of resources. First, we have the shallow geothermal energy resources, and according to the quality of resources, different areas can have a favorable, moderately unfavorable, and unfavorable conditions. And according to the official data, in China, as for the shallow geothermal energy utilization, we can have the 700 million tons of standard coal in the 336 cities for the capacity, and there is no systematic evaluation carried out in the rural areas. And as for the middle deep hydrothermal geothermal resources, we have a equivalent resource to 1.25 trillion tons of standard coal, and the annual recovered amount is equivalent to 1.8 billion tons of standard coal. And for this area,
in some archipelagos as well as mountainous and hilly areas such as the southeast coast, and for hot dry rock geothermal resources, they are widely distributed, and we believe that Qinghai Tibet Plateau, Southeast Coast, Songliao Plain, North China Plain are regarded as potential areas. In recent years, China has carried out drilling, fracturing, and experimental power generation in Qiongbei and Tangshan and Hebei, which is still in the exploratory stage. And recently, with the support of Ministry of Science and Technology, Sinopec in Haikou of Hainan Province deployed and implemented the first 5,000-meter deep scientific exploration well in China. And next, I hope to present on exploitation and utilization of geothermal energy in China. The modern utilization of geothermal energy in China originated in the 1970s due to limitations in resource distribution, market requirements, and economic benefits. The geothermal industry in China shifted from power generation to direct utilization. In the 1970s, we focused on power generation, and now we are transitioning to direct utilization. In recent years, the direct utilization of geothermal energy in China is showing an accelerating trend of development. By end of 2020, China's geothermal direct utilization is equivalent to installed capacity of 40.61 gigawatt, as reported by one of the keynote speakers just now. And shallow geothermal utilization equivalent to 26,450 megawatts of installed capacity, accounting for 65%. For medium-deep geothermal utilization, it is equivalent to 1,160 megawatts of installed capacity, accounting for 35% of the total. So actually, there are three aspects I hope to draw on. First of all, technology for utilizing shallow geothermal energy has been continuously improved, achieving large-scale commercial utilization. Large commercial complexes are utilizing the shallow geothermal energy related technology. So utilization of heat sources is fully extended to surface water, groundwater, soil, rock mass, etc. So from a single refrigeration or heating system to a dual supply system, shallow geothermal energy has been utilized in various climate regions across the country, from piston heat pump to screw and centrifugal heat pumps, with continuous improvement in energy efficiency ratio and gradual improvement in economy. So China's shallow geothermal heating and cooling area is about 810 million square meters, saving 8.91 million tons of standard coal and reducing 22 million tons of carbon dioxide emission annually. As you can see, the main utilization area is distributed in plain areas of eastern China. On the left side, you can see the Beijing Daxing International Airport's shallow geothermal energy project. This is China's largest ground source heat pump system project. So through shallow geothermal energy plus multi-energy integration, we achieved heating or cooling of nearly 2.5 million square meters of office space in the public area of this airport, saving 71,000 tons of standard coal and reducing carbon emissions by over 177,000 tons annually. And the project on the right is the Binjiang Financial Regional Energy Center, which features shallow geothermal energy plus river water source. Heating and cooling area is 2.12 million square meters of office space in the public area of Binjiang, saving 60,000 tons of standard coal annually. Our technologies are also being improved with a higher area, total area of heating. So through continuous R&D breakthroughs, we formed 2 basic theories and 4 core technologies through theoretical innovation and technical research to explore and exploit medium-deep geothermal resources. The area of medium-deep geothermal heating increased rapidly, reaching 582 million square meters in China, saving 11.02 million tons of standard coal and reducing 27 million tons of carbon dioxide emission annually, play an important role in clean heating and air pollution prevention. Northern China, for example, in northern China, which accounts for 70% of the country's hydrothermal geothermal heating area. Here are 2 projects I also hope to show to you. One is carbonate geothermal reservoir project. One is the sandstone geothermal reservoir project. The one on the left saves 95,000 tons of standard coal and reduces 237,000 tons of carbon dioxide emission. And on the right side, hand side, sandstone geothermal reservoir project has a total heating area of 3.83 million square meters. Can reduce 181,000 tons of carbon dioxide emission annually. So the application scenario is also very wide, especially in rural areas. We could offer heating for the aquatic farming, and this has also been utilized across the country, and it is also playing a very huge role in health and in some resorts, tourism resorts for heated water and hot spring bathing. So we tried to replace coal-driven electricity generation, and we also realized energy conservation and emission reduction through the geothermal farming and hot spring bathing. So we also tried to conduct trial geothermal power generation commercial model, promoting stable development of the geothermal industry. So in Yangbajing geothermal power plant, we connected this plant into the national grid for commercial operation, and it began its pilot operation in 2011, and in 2018 was officially connected into the grid. And in year 2018, in Ruili, in Yunnan, we started to operate 1.2 megawatt capacity experimental power generation. And in October 2018, 280 kilowatt capacity geothermal power generation and heating experimental project was carried out in Xi'an County, Hebei Province. So in 2009, with the support of provincial, prefectural, and local governments, Sinopec has systematically evaluated the geothermal resources and urban energy requirements of the Xiong County in Hebei Province, and the innovative Xiong County mode is implemented to build a smog-free county with geothermal heating. It has assisted local government to formulate the exploitation and utilization plan of geothermal resource in 12.1 square kilometers of area to systemically develop the geothermal resources in the Xiong country. So the depth. And the planning map of the geothermal resource development and utilization in Xiong County has been shown on the right-hand side. And in terms of low, medium temperature conductive and convective heat migration, karst, bog, and sandport geothermal reservoirs, all these technologies have been adopted in Xiong County. And from the research into the mechanism of heat storage and also the recharge technologies, we utilized the relevant resources in a highly efficient manner. So from this slide, you can see the geothermal fluid temperature, water level, quality, and flow rates can be monitored in real time, and according to heat traffic prediction, heat supply smartly tuned to supply the heat based on demand hierarchy. Now this project in total has 68 geothermal wells and 35 heat exchange wells constructed. The total heating capacity is 4.5 million square meters. 95% of building area in the township has been heated by geothermal energy. So the water level and temperature have been very stable since the initiation of the project, which can ensure continuous development. This project has also gained full recognition from all authorities involved. In 2014, Natural Energy Bureau has called the first National Geothermal Exploitation Utilization Work Conference, in which the Xiong County mode was highly appraised by the Bureau. In the past 11 years, we have achieved a total geothermal heating capacity of 10 million square meters, and the development investment was amounted to 800 million RMB. And we also gained the recognition from one academician from ARENA. And we have also been listed into the global promotion catalog of IEA. So we formed a very comprehensive geothermal industry system. We have a series of backbone enterprises to promote geothermal industry development. So CNNP and Sinopec and China Nuclear participated in this process to facilitate the fast development of geothermal industry in China. In particular, Sinopec reached over 8 million square meters, which ranked the first in China. And we also established the geothermal evaluation standard to promote standardized development of the geothermal business. In November 2016, the National Energy Bureau established Geothermal Energy Industry Standardization Technical Committee to formulate a system of 111 standards covering 6 subjects to serve the healthy development of the geothermal electricity generation industry in China. And we have also established a talent system for the geothermal industry in China. So in 2019, we initiated the Sino-Iceland Geothermal Training Program. And the first generation trainer included 11 specialists from UNESCO Geothermal Academy and 15 Chinese specialists lasting 5 weeks. Now we have also established geothermal disciplines in Tianjin University, Jilin University, Chinese Petroleum University, China Geology University, etc. And the National Geothermal Center, National Energy Research Society, Chinese Petroleum Committee, China Petroleum and Petrochemical Engineering Research Association, Chinese Geophysical Society, and many other societies and associations are organizing regular forums and conventions. And thirdly, geothermal industry development prospects. The country attaches great importance to this industry. In 2022, General Secretary Xi Jinping hosted the 36th collective study of the Political Bureau of the 19th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China. He pointed out that it must be accelerated to utilize wind, solar, biomass, geothermal, ocean, and hydrogen energies in a large-scale and self-beneficial ways. In 2022, 9 ministries, including the NDRC and the Energy Bureau, have jointly released the Renewable Energy energy development 14th five-year plan, which clearly required promotion of large-scale geothermal development to actively implement the medium-deep geothermal energy utilization for heating and cooling, fully implementing shallow geothermal energy development, orderly implementing geothermal energy power generation. It was predicted that by 2025, the total cooling and heating area will increase by 50% than that of year 2020. We need to do the following three aspects of our work well. First of all, we need to intensify resource exploration and clarify the basis for industrial development. We need to mobilize the society to establish governmental encouraging subsidies policies and research on policies with data submission, collection, and sharing service. Secondly, we need to strengthen fundamental geothermal research and provide key technical support. We need to establish deep geothermal research key national laboratories and overcome current bottlenecks in technologies. Secondly, we need to advance coupled usage of new energy such as geothermal plus oilfield waste heat, geothermal plus wind photovoltaic plus hydrogen, geothermal plus energy storage, and to construct the smart system backbone by geothermal energy. Thirdly, we need to incorporate ourselves into overall urban planning, promote the coordinated development of industries in urban and rural areas. We also need to enhance integrated urban infrastructure planning, mineral resource planning, environment ecosystem protection, groundwater utilization, and protection planning. So from power generation, industrial, agricultural requirements, tourism, energy storage, we must plan them collaboratively to guide the geothermal utilization.
China has abundant geothermal resources, and the geothermal industry has achieved rapid development. Under the guidance of the dual carbon goal, geothermal will certainly make greater contributions to the development of national economy and the improvement of people's quality of life. Thank you very much. That's my presentation.
Mr. Guo for your excellent, super excellent report. And he informed of us the complete background potential of geothermal resources in China, the situation of geothermal use by heating and cooling, recreation, greenhouse, fish farming, and power generation, show the progress and future of geothermal industry in China. Please give our thanks to Mr. Guo again. Thanks are due to all the four speakers again. Well, they informed of us the global progress of geothermal development, the achievement of geothermal industry in China, and overall of technical papers of WGC 2023. This made us more confident about the future of geothermal in the world. Dear colleagues, thanks are given to you all for your attention and time. In the afternoon, we'll have 10 parallel sessions of technical papers. And at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, in this same room, there will be a global forum on geothermal collaboration. Governmental officials, academicians, and distinguished experts will make interesting reports. You're welcome to come here again in the afternoon. Okay. That's all for this morning. Thank you all again.
尊敬的领导，各位来宾，会议已结束，请您将同传耳机放回座位或交给大会堂北出口的接待台工作人员。Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the morning event has come to an end. Could we please ask for you to put a simultaneous translation earphones back to your seats or hand them back to the recipients at the north exit of the hall? Thank you.